Have to do the countdown. There we are.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Welcome to Let's Talk Trek. Your hosts tonight are going to be Sensei Dylan.
Hello.
Sensei Ashby.
Whoosh!
And myself, Sensei Mason. Yes. Richard, what are we watching?
Let's Talk Trek. This is the UK's premiere 9 o'clock on a Sunday show where we talk mostly about Star Trek.
Indeed.
Let's say good evening to some dear viewers. Good evening, dear Gary. Gary, it was fantastic to join you for a pint in the Weatherspoons. Apologies, there was no cabaret on. There normally is in the Margate Weatherspoons. We'll hope for some better cabaret next time.
Yep.
What ho, Auntie Val? Look,
Auntie Val.
we're always very comfortable. Vicky, yes, again, comfortable is a word that's often used to describe us. No, she's under the desk.
Not yet, Christoph.
So are we going with the strike first, strike hard, no mercy type of Star Trek talk tonight?
I think so, yeah.
Why not?
Well, I know viewers are going to ask us, where did we get such magnificent robes and where can you get them from? Online is the answer.
Online.
From our good friends at
Amazon.
Amazon, yes.
Or Zavi.
What is
Dan,
that?
if you were an Amazon driver and you turn up at people's doors and they answer, how do you pronounce Amazon? Do you go, Amazon?
Amazon.
It's not Amazon. Amazon? No, is it not?
Amazon.
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 A local Amazon delivery driver who I think is of Eastern European extraction goes, Amazon, and then goes off.
So I've got a very healthy relationship with my Amazon Yodel drivers. I always get them little Christmas presents every year. I always give them something, and I always ask them if they want. I always give them cold drinks on a hot day, and I do always ask them if they'd like to pop in and use the toilet when they're out on their runs. So I never get any missed packages. Mine are never late. Mine always arrive. Mine are always fantastic. They're always very grateful, especially for the little Christmas presents I give them.
Clever. Do you get them to deliver their own Christmas presents?
No, last year was the first time I did it properly, and I went on to savers.co.uk and just got like a shed load of little gift packs, men and women's ones, and then little tins with like shaving cream and stuff like that. And I wrapped them all up with nice bows. And the chap come up and delivered it and ran away like the door. And I went, "Oi!" I said, "Come back here." And he sheepishly came back, thinking I was going to tell him off. I said, "There you go, mate." Honestly, you should have seen the look on his face. He literally skipped back to the van. He was absolutely delighted to get. He was absolutely delighted. He was. So yeah, it's always worth just remembering. These chaps are under a lot of pressure, and showing them a little bit of love rather than just getting annoyed with them can go a long way to getting your packages delivered on time.
And that, boys and girls, is called an interesting way to spin. You look unwashed. Here's some soap.
Ouch.
Good evening, Richard. How are you doing, chap? We're still waiting to see some pictures of you enjoying your gold Maidon freighter. Please do take a picture of you enjoying it and send it into the show so that we can share that with everyone else.
What else have we got we can spray gold and give to Richard?
Looking comfy, guys. Well, we're doing our best. What Honadin? We're going to try and talk about as much Star Trek as possible this evening.
We turned on the heating today. That's the children's Christmas present.
We can see your comments, Linda, if you're watching. Wore the dressing gown on Friday during my cataract surgery.
Well,
Well,
if that's so,
I,
Daniel, how did you get hold of my dressing gown?
yeah, I
Well,
mean, that
it could be mine.
explains. Actually, could you hold it up and show us the stain, James? Because that explains this.
Oh, where is it? Yes.
Yeah,
No.
is that where they cut a blood vessel, possibly? What home, Mark?
Hey,
Mark,
buddy.
very excited to be seeing you at the sci-fi ball. Delighted to know that you're going to be attending, but it's going to be good to see you. Expect nothing less. Yeah, so we've got some Trek to talk about. Lower Decks has concluded, and James cannot wait to tell you about it.
Oh, it was a tremendous episode. It features that
Hang
staple.
on. Do we spoiler alert? Do we?
Oh,
There's a thing for that.
Please be aware that the following program contains scenes which may not be suitable for younger children. Some parental discretion is advised.
not so much a spoiler alert, but yes. So the staple of all Star Trek series, the rogue admiral who's gone mad, and I think, frankly, Starfleet Academy has something to answer to in that quite so many admirals do go bad. I mean, can you think of any who haven't gone bad apart from, say, Nechayev, Paris? Every admiral we ever meet is a rotten
And
admiral.
Admiral Janeway's not gone bad yet.
Well, how do we know? We've only seen her on screen once since she was made admiral.
Well, technically, Admiral Janeway stole future technology, went back to the past, breached the Prime Directive. So
The
technically,
temporal prime directive.
No, she's an admiral in First Contact, isn't she?
there is, of course, Admiral Picard.
Yeah, he's not evil. I think you've got a predisposition against
He does
people in
slag
power.
off Starfleet, though, doesn't he?
Well, who doesn't talk shit about work occasionally?
I don't.
Right, anyway,
I
so
love my
you have
job.
an admiral who's gone bad. You have a classic. Oh, where's he gone?
Vodafone just pulled his broadband.
You have a classic plot of a human crew as against an automated ship,
Right.
which is trying to take over their jobs, and there's no unions involved in this case.
Is
Thank
is
you.
the ship called the Bezos, or is it?
It should have been called the Bezos, but the Cerritos is, of course, a California class ship, and the ones which are automated that are going to take over are called the Texas class.
Right.
Texas and California, dear viewers, are states in the United States of America.
North America, I believe.
North America, yeah. Just below Canada.
Yes, just below Canada. It's up. If you think of Mexico and Canada making a sandwich.
It's the bit between.
Yeah.
Yes. And actually, there was a sovereign class that turned up called the Van Sitters. And if I have my Trek knowledge right, I think the Van Sitters may be someone fairly high up in CBS. So I thought that was an in-joke. Although it does get totaled.
I have to confess, sadly, I've not gotten around to watching it yet. I am really enjoying this season of Lower Decks, but due to a busy schedule, I've just sadly not been able to enjoy it yet.
Oh, well, I've enjoyed it tremendously, and I recommend you watch it, Richard.
I'm looking forward to catching up on it once a few things sort of calm down in my life and I've got time to get around to it. I will do. Same as the Prodigy. My son's really excited about watching that with me. We actually managed to watch half an episode of the thing, and then I can't, Swimming Gala or something came up, and we didn't manage to watch the rest of it. So
Yeah,
there we are.
So anyone viewing, have you seen Lower Decks? What are your views on it? Let us know.
Yes, I mean, I watched it. I did really like it. Like you say, it was another evil admiral, but
People in positions of power do tend to go bad, don't they, James?
Yes. Power corrupts, and absolute power corrupts absolutely.
aren't you in a position of power, James?
Yes, I am, but I don't like to talk about it.
Are you corrupt?
Well, when it comes to corrupt judges, I've seen some.
That wasn't the question, sir.
Actually, I have to say, James is probably the least corrupt person I've ever met in my life. He's an absolute darling, which is why he needs me to look after him.
He does do a funny handshake, though. Anyway, moving on. Well, what else? Right, so we can keep the dim happy, because let's be honest, he always complains about this. Shall we talk a little bit of actual Star Trek?
Well, that was Star Trek, wasn't it?
Yes, but we'll talk a bit more Star Trek.
Okay, carry on. What else have you got?
So I was thinking about Evil Admirals then. And Evil Admirals, like you say, we had a few. Who would you say is the worst?
The one in Insurrection.
Oh, the one who joins with the sonar.
Admiral Doherty.
He tried to do the right thing at the end, though, and he was just following orders. I think the worst was the one with the worm sticking out the back of his neck that fights Worf and goes, "Vitamins!"
Well, he hadn't gone bad, had he? He was under the control of an alien.
Gone completely bad. He had a
Admiral
worm
Quinn.
sticking out the back of his neck and was eating live things. He was horrible.
I would say the worst Admiral is Admiral Cartwright, who tries to cause a war between the Klingon Empire and the Federation, or tries to keep that conflict running when the opportunity was.
Let them die.
So what about Admiral Marcus from Into Darkness? He tries to do the same thing, doesn't he?
Yes.
Tries to do, and that's yes, it is Peter Weller who played RoboCop. Yeah, he does exactly the same thing. Again, admirals, they're just evil.
They do seem somewhat unaccountable, don't they?
And of course we have Admiral Ross in Deep Space Nine, who is it Admiral Ross? The one who no, not Ross. Who's the one that tries to recruit Cisco to be head of Earth security, and then turns out
that's the one with the sinister voice.
Yes, he turns to Lakota after the Defiant and orders them to fire. I remember the episode. I can't.
But the one who tries to recruit Cisco is not actually the bad version, because I think that he gets taken over after he's recruited Cisco, doesn't he?
It's been a while since I've seen the DS9. I'm just slightly pre 7 and 9 on my Voyager rewatch. Once I'm done with that, I'll be back on a DS9, I think.
Dan Adams, thank you very much. Admiral Layton.
My favourite Admiral is the non-Admiral, which was from Bashir's think tank of genetically engineered, mentally unstable, who put on the Admiral's uniforms and, "Oh, that's a stupid question." That was just
Admiral Patrick. Yes,
that was fantastic. That was such an inspired choice. It was brilliant. Wonderful writing.
Oh, Nadim says, how about Admiral Jameson with his reverse aging?
Yes, very naughty Admiral. We should have a top 5 of very naughty Admirals. Maybe we'll do that for next week.
That's a good idea, yes. Nominate your top 5 naughty Admirals.
Speaking of, I just quickly want to get this in while I remember, I will forget. You'll have noticed that we've sadly been missing Carl quite often. And James and I were saying, because his night, obviously Sundays, well, all of his nights at the moment are quite busy. But we're hoping perhaps we could organise a watch-along, as we did. We've not done a watch-along for a long time, so maybe a watch-along one evening. So if anyone could suggest something we could do as a watch-along, possibly from the Paramount Plus channel or Netflix or Amazon Prime that people have access to. Any suggestions for a watch-along, an episode or a film, please do pop in the comments, or indeed Dan's got one.
Star Trek 6. It has an evil admiral. It's a brilliant film.
What about Weekend at Bernie's?
I'm up for this. Richard says it's not a film he wants to watch.
I watched the advert for it.
Oh, controversial.
Evil again, admirals. Mason go wrong. Sorry, hang on. No, he's not Admiral Kirk. He's Admiral Kirk.
Right.
Admiral Kirk.
Richard, you know where we're up to in the comments. I can't know where we're up to.
Right, yes, sorry. So, quick bet. So, Lower Decks is... hang on, is my favourite current Trek. It's also the only one I can watch legally with an acceptable delay compared to the US. Yeah, another thing, I think we've touched on this last week, but the Con 3 is under threat because the Oak Hotel where it's being held has been sold. It's now gone through. The Oak Hotel is now closed. Lower Decks, great. I mean, this is something else, really. What? Because we talked about this last week. What are we excited for the most? Like, are we excited for a new Star Trek film, season 3 of Picard? Presumably that they've greenlit Lower Decks for another season. Is there anything you want to see from Lower Decks in season 5?
What I want to see is TNG season 8, which is what Picard season 3 really is.
But with Gary Oldman as the baddie.
It'd be nice to see Lower Decks, and we have seen some reference to Riker. We have seen a reference to Deep Space Nine in Lower Decks. I would like to see a reference to the end of Picard. You know, when Seven of Nine and is there and Picard's on the bridge of the Stargazer and stuff. It'd be nice for the Stargazers to get the odd mention, you know, even if it's before that, like Rios is in charge of it or something like that, you know.
Hey Christian, welcome to the show. Please hit us up in the comments with your favourite episode and your favourite character.
And then tell us what's going on in your profile picture there.
Well, it looks like someone's sacrificing... No, this is a samba band. A drum-along samba band. Yeah.
So the lady in the left-hand side of the picture looks like she's got blue war paint on, from what
That's what they do. In the samba bands, they put the paint on.
Do they?
Yeah.
Gosh.
Love your robes. Right, okay, so now we've got a little... I've not done a sting for this, but we've got a little competition now, okay? James, have you got some suitable competition, maybe Challenge Annika music we can put on?
Let's see what I can do for you.
Have a Challenge Annika, boys and girls?
It's enough of that.
So, underneath my robe, in the comments, would you care to guess what flavour pyjamas I'm wearing? There is a prize. Well, no, there isn't a prize, but James will play something funny if you get it right. So, but quickly, no, it's not the Three Amigos, Linda. But I think you're suggesting what we should watch as the watch along, and absolutely yes, the Three Amigos gets my vote. Certainly. So what flavour? What's so banana? No, they're not banana. When I say flavour, I meant just kind of what theme are they? Spilt wine. No, I don't spill it. Jurassic, it's good, but it's not the right answer. No. Again, it's just no. Airwolf. Oh, you wish.
Airwolf.
No.
Oh, that's the watch along, is it?
No, that's for watch along. No, that's the Guess in My Pajamas, I think.
I think she's all about Richard's helicopter.
I think she's still thinking about the copter. No, they're not Knight Rider pajamas. No. Airwolf. Oh, a few people have gone for it. No, they're not Airwolf pajamas. No. Okay. Are we all out of guesses? No one's got it yet.
Well, go on, Richard. Let's have the reveal.
Are we ready for the reveal?
Let's see the reveal.
Yes, that's
Ooh.
right. They're Batman pajamas.
What are the odds?
Well, there we are. They're Batman pajamas.
Interestingly, did you know the story about Adam West?
Oh, which one?
That Adam West, after doing Batman, found it very hard to get acting jobs. And,
Really?
and ended up doing things in the adult entertainment industry.
Ooh.
Yes, there we go. Apparently, it's
By the
very
way,
tame.
the worst
It's very
film
tame by
I've
modern
ever,
standards. But yes, that's what Adam Westmoreland did. Yeah.
the very worst film I've ever seen is called Adam and Bert Return to the Batcave, which I recommend that if you ever get the chance to watch it, you don't.
How does it compare with Czar, a pizza movie?
Far worse than Zara Pizza Movie.
Oh, good God.
Far worse. I mean, in Zara Pizza Movie, someone says, "You'll never eat pizza in this town again." I mean, there's no greater line that's ever been spoken.
Just a shame about the casting.
Oh, a quick shout out to friend of the show, Marina Sirtis. Haha, 2-1.
Marina Sirtis has left Twitter, hasn't she? Let's talk about Twitter.
I've never been on it. I've obviously heard of it.
Apparently, she doesn't like the fact that Elon Musk has bought it and has quit Twitter. And I mean, I don't really understand it, to be honest.
It is.
Doesn't sound Star Trek related, if I'm honest with you. Apart
Well-
from Marina Sirtis has left it. It's a bit tenuous.
Okay,
No,
well,
no.
you mentioned Marina Sirtis. That was the only reason.
I apologies. I don't guess. Sorry.
I mean, I think that the interesting one is Elon is the more interesting out of this, because obviously people say that he's, this visionary and, he's got a vision for the future and he's pushing towards, the exploration of Mars and space travel with his SpaceX projects and things like that.
Well, yeah, Marina Sirtis is very anti that. So, I mean, I'll come on and say it. So, we're at a convention once, and James and I were so excited to see Colonel Al Warden. And during the warm-up presentation, Marina Sirtis came on directly before him. Now, this is a bona fide astronaut who's flown to the moon.
And around it.
And Marina Sirtis came on before him and basically slagged off space travel and said it was a waste of time. It was one of the most embarrassing moments of my entire life. He's there waiting in the wings to come on, an actual astronaut, and she's saying people shouldn't spend money and send people to space. It was cringeworthy, even for her. It was pretty bad.
However, I'm not publicising my political views on this or anything else, as much as James is about to go running slap me. How much did Elon buy Twitter for? 44 billion, I believe, was it?
44 billion.
$44 billion. You have to wonder if you had $44 billion to spend on something frivolous, James, which is making a loss and doesn't make any actual money. And Elon apparently says he's bought it for the sake of free speech in the world.
Scotland.
There are so many things and projects and stuff in the world that could probably do with funding. Does that make sense? Surely there's better things to spend your money on if you wanted a lasting legacy.
Well, frankly, I mean, I don't understand what Twitter does that's so important. You couldn't just create a different version of it yourself from scratch.
I mean, I'm not preaching out to, that we should all become communists, but you have to think that 44 billion could probably solve a lot of the sustainability problems in the world in some developing countries. Why is he not putting money into that?
I think because he's the guy's obviously not an idiot. He knows that Twitter eventually will make him some money. That's why he's gone in there and sacked half the staff and kind of sorting it out. It's such a popular platform, and in terms of investment to make the world a better place, I think Twitter's one of the main kind of platforms that Russians are actually speaking out against Russia on. So it's not a bad thing to invest in. So, but don't make no mistake, he's doing it to make money. That's what he does.
Yeah. I mean, like I say, probably just an oversimplified view of mine. It just strikes me if I had, the wealthiest person in the world and I had all the money, I'd probably pay for, water supplies in Africa to be fixed. And
Not before we'd bought a fire engine, though, eh?
No children going hungry. That's a bit more important than a website, as far as I'm concerned.
And a fire engine.
And a
Don't forget the fire engine.
With a disco. With the disco ball in the fire engine. And big speakers on the side of the fire and a light show, and it would pull up and we'd all get out dressed as firemen with disco ball going and yeah.
but it's like that. It's and this is my tie back to Star Trek. It's like when they say, as a race, we eventually stopped worrying about the pursuit of money, and that's when the real progress started.
Yeah, I've always been uncomfortable with the way that Star Trek's endorsed communism, but there we are.
I thought it was
You
luxury.
only have to look at the uniforms in the Abrams verse to be a bit bloody worried about that.
Wow. Right. So let's have a look. Lucky Scousers.
Not quite sure.
They beat Marina Sirtis' football team by 2, and yes, I have to admit we were a bit lucky. I wasn't overly satisfied with the performance.
I understand there's a lot of association football on next month.
Yes. Are we going to talk a little bit about the football? I mean,
Well, you can. I don't know anything about it.
I've made the decision. Well, actually, made it this morning. I'm not going to be watching the World Cup. I'm in protest, not going to be viewing it because I think it's a bit of a sham. It's being held where it is. I'd advise everyone watching to make their own decisions and look into it themselves. But I know that
Richard knows I know nothing about football whatsoever. I know even less than James, but I know where the World Cup has been held. It is in Qatar.
Yeah.
And would you like to know how I know it's in Qatar?
Go for it.
Because obviously I work.
He's got tickets.
Yeah, I work in a little town called Wilmslow, which is where nearly every footballer in the Northwest seems to live. And the amount of footballers that have been in the last couple of weeks and said, "Hi, does my roaming work in Qatar?" No, it doesn't. It's £6 a day.
They can probably afford it, Dan.
Yes, but it's quite funny when they keep asking, "Can I have free roaming?" I play football. Can I have free roaming? No, you can't.
Perhaps you could spend your ill-gotten gains on solving child poverty.
Exactly.
Who needs £50,000 a week for kicking a ball around? Some people do that just for fun.
I will say this. I do have outside my store this week, I had the only busker that I've ever seen that he's busking with a guitar, and in front of him he had a microphone stand. On the microphone stand, he had an iZettle card reader, and you could leave him a tip by card rather than pay cash.
You've never been to London, have you, Dan?
I have.
We've all got card readers in London.
I have been to London. I've done the Death Mark through it.
Yes, because it's no distance at all to march from the Science Museum to, what was it, Piccadilly?
About that far on the map. But weren't we hungry when we got there?
Oh, dear. We were.
Back to Trek. Any suggestions for the watch-along? I mean, it probably should be something Star Trek, and the only suggestions we've had are like Jurassic Park and Airwolf.
No, I think these were suggestions of what your pajamas are.
You know what? I really want a pair of Airwolf pajamas now.
Right. Anyway, I said we watched Star Trek 6, and somebody else agreed up here.
It's one of Star Trek 6. Is that The Undiscovered Country?
It is.
That's a good film.
It is a good film.
That's got Christopher Plummer in it, hasn't it? One friend of the show, David Warner, who sadly passed away.
Yes.
Oh, what a gent he was. He was one of the nicest people we've ever had the pleasure to interview.
Christopher Plummer recently passed as well, didn't he?
Yeah.
Nicest person I interviewed at a Star Trek event was Aaron Eisenberg.
Oh, he was a nice chap.
He was so much time, and he was just so he didn't care about being rushed by the people that were trying to rush him to get an interview. He just nattered for ages, and he was lovely.
Yeah. Well, okay. Well, Star Trek 6 sounds good to me.
When should we do it?
Mondays and Thursdays are good for me.
Say a week on Monday. That gives everyone a chance to find a streaming subscription for it, or buy it online cheap. Or
yeah, you can't watch it on the Paramount.
Can we do it other than a Monday night?
Tuesday night?
Tuesday night, that'll work.
Tuesdays. Yeah, I should be able to, actually. Just double check what's happening. What am I on a Tuesday? Yeah, Tuesday should be good.
So a week on Tuesday?
Yeah.
That gives time for
Tuesday the 15th?
Yes.
Yes, Tuesday the 15th. We're going to have a watch along, fancy dress, and we're going to be watching Star Trek 6: The Undiscovered Country.
Is it currently available on anything like Netflix?
No.
Oh,
It's not even on Paramount Plus, where you're supposed to be able to go to get all your Trek needs.
I'm trying to think how I would. I'll have to.
Let me see. I'm going to see where
What
you
is
can
it
watch it.
available on?
I'm looking now. It's on Amazon Prime.
Oh, Prime. That's fine. I can watch it up here then.
It's on YouTube for £2.49. It's on Apple TV for £3.49. It's on Google Play Movies for £2.49. It is not on Paramount Plus, which is the home of Star Trek.
Crap, isn't it? Honestly, the app is so clunky as well, and you can't even get it in 4K in the United Kingdom. Yet they want the same amount as you pay for Disney Plus. It's a joke. Sorry, but it is. Oh, hang on a minute. No, it is on Paramount Plus.
Oh, is it?
It is. To be fair, it is on Paramount Plus, but you can't watch it in 4K, even though they own it. Yeah. So you can watch it in 1080 on Paramount Plus, and we'll be watching it. We'll create an event for Tuesday, the 15th of November. Now, something else is coming up in November that following weekend, I believe, Dan. The 18th, 19th of November and 20th November.
Oh, yeah. It's Winter London Comic Con, which I
You're
may
right,
or may
yeah.
not be going to. Yes.
Oh,
Still
you're not
waiting.
going?
I'm still awaiting some confirmation on that one. So,
Oh, okay.
yeah. I'll talk to you later about that.
Right. Okay. We'll just skirt around that.
Essentially, I had a text message this week, well, a couple of days ago, from the organisers saying, "Hey, we've due to some guest cancellations, we're narrowing it down to one stage rather than two because we've had some cancellations. So we are going to just go with one host this year because obviously you don't need two hosts for two stage. But they're trying to squeeze me in to do something else instead. So that's currently in negotiation at the moment. So I'll be there in one for more.
I saw that the chap from Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. had cancelled, Clark Gregg.
Mm-hmm. Ethan Phillips has cancelled. There has been a couple of other cancellations as well. People got work, you got to take an action.
Hey, good. If they're working doing, and I don't mean to be rude, doing real work, they are actors. Conventions are sidelined for them. So, if they've got it doing real work, that's great. Good for them.
Yes.
Yeah.
Just seeing who's rescheduled now.
Wouldn't it be lovely if Disney just bought Star Trek?
Well, would it?
It would.
Yeah.
They've done really good things with every other franchise they've got, so...
I mean, Star Trek is a good enough franchise it can hold its own, notwithstanding the efforts of people like J.J. Abrams.
I watched Into Darkness on Friday night with my kids for the first time. They're 10 and 11. Absolutely loved it. They really enjoyed it. Both of them said when it finished, is there another one? Have they made another one? And they've both, because I'm trying to wean them onto Star Trek, and both of them, after watching those, have become more amenable to watching a bit more Voyager. I had an episode of Voyager on when I was on my rowing machine the other day, and my little girl came in and was absolutely bowled over that there was a female captain, and sat there and watched for like 15 minutes because she was delighted just to see a woman in charge. So, there's a lot of pluses out there for the Abrams ones and getting people interested in Star Trek. So, plus also Into Darkness is a kick-ass film. Brilliant. It is. I don't care. I know it's not Star Trek, but it's a brilliant film.
All right. Well, I'll offer no comment.
Oh, right. Okay.
Wonder why. Bit of a non sequitur.
I've got a plug to... Hang on.
Okay, well, you're finding your plug. Friend of the show, Bonnie Langford, is going to be at London Film and Comic Con.
Oh, good old Bonnie.
Langford.
Right, so this week I was asked to go on to the UK Film Review podcast, which you can find on Spotify, as their sci-fi expert.
Oh, hang on, we've got a sting for that. Here we go.
The show actually went. I've never done a podcast before. I was invited on to discuss sci-fi horror specifically, as I'm an expert in the area. It was an interesting experience. They've already asked if I can come back and do another one. So,
are we talking before or after you complained that they hadn't supplied a glass for your wine?
They didn't have a glass. Yeah, it was difficult sucking the wine. But it was actually it was pretty good. I enjoyed it. It was an interesting experience. But please do go to the UK Film Review podcast on Spotify and listen to me talk about science fiction. I do briefly touch on Star Trek, obviously not much because it was more about sci-fi horror. I mainly talk about Predator and Aliens and The Thing and things like that. So.
If it bleeds, we can kill it.
Yeah. Get to the chopper.
If we don't go now, there will be no one left to get to the chopper.
That's not bad. Do you know the Futurama TOS episode they did where they got all the original cast back apart from Jimmy Doohan, who had sadly died. So they introduced a new character called Welshie instead of Scotty. It was absolutely fantastic, absolutely brilliant.
Welshie, brilliant.
Yes, I have, Alan.
Oh, hello, Alan. Nice to hear from you. How you doing, buddy?
I would like to at this point just send an apology out as well. It's very rare I apologise, but I'm going to apologise. Somebody messaged me directly this week rather than messaging the Showmasters page. They seemed to have found me and they sent me a message and said, "Hi, I've been trying to message the Showmasters page and haven't had a reply. Can you tell me what the green screen opportunity will look like at LFCC?" I actually want to know what the background looked like. However, you caught me.
Green screen.
You caught me when I was at work at night time at 3 a.m. I wasn't in the best of moods. So for sending you a picture of a green square, I do apologise with the words, "Imagine this, but with shit on it."
I think that's fair response.
What is it supposed to be?
What does the green screen look like? I don't know. It's a big green square. It can be
Hang on,
anything.
I'm going to have a look at their page and see what it actually says. Let's see.
Oh dear God! If you ask me,
Ernie Hudson's going. Ooh.
So.
Oh, hang on. No, that must be another one. 242 days. Oh, that's next year's. Where's the winter one?
Right. While you look, let's have a look. Richard, have you seen Prey?
I have. This is the latest Predator film. It was shit. Sorry.
Event Horizon is the epitome of brilliance.
Well, so this the interesting
dark
thing I touch on in the podcast, and specifically we worked back from the original Thing, the 1950s film, the thing that fell from outer space, and then the one we all know, the John Carpenter one. And that's how really, because sci-fi, just because it was sci-fi, used to be horror. But we've all become so desensitized to the idea of UFOs and aliens and stuff that it's no longer horror. You know, some of the aliens that we see in Strange New Worlds and Discovery would have been terrifying to a 1980s audience just to see on screen. So that's kind of what I touch on. So yes, Judith, you're absolutely correct, because Event Horizon wasn't all about the monster and all the rest of it. It was about an idea that would scare you. So yeah, spot on.
Like communism.
Absolutely. I love the idea of communism. It's just the practicality of it. It don't turn into Star Trek. I mean, if it did, we'd all be behind it, but it doesn't.
Right. The green screen, Dan, from what I can see, is not just one thing. So there's a Matt Smith House of the Dragon green screen.
Right.
And there's a Matt Smith TARDIS green screen.
I've been really enjoying
TARDIS
the
green screen,
House
so
of
I
Dragon.
imagine they've got a couple of slides they can choose whatever. There's a couple of opportunities.
Yeah,
That's
but when the man says to me, "What is the green screen?" and I send him back a picture of a green screen, I apologise.
You should have sent him instead a picture of a blue screen and say, "Sorry, there won't be a green screen. We're using blue." And then he would
there's
have
an Agents of Shield one as well.
turned up in a green T-shirt, and he would have been right.
I was going to send a picture of a red one and said, "I think it looks like this, but I could be colourblind." And I thought, no, that's just me.
Oh dear.
So, I'm not sure if you saw on Trek movie. I'm going to put it up on the screen to share this because it made me giggle. Last week we had Halloween, and they ran a feature on. James knows this. They were making Halloween costumes.
Oh yes.
So I'll put some of their, and it's a lovely guys at Trek movie. We love these guys. Let's just put some of theirs up. So here we go. So.
Just apropos that, before you scroll on, I've just finished listening to the autobiography of Catherine Janeway, and I'm not sure how canon that is, but at the end she does say Kim got promoted to captain fairly quickly.
How did you enjoy that, James?
I enjoyed most of it.
I thought it was really good, actually. I was really enthused by it. It's marvellous.
Did make me laugh, that one.
Not so good, that one.
Oh, we should totally do an episode on that.
A lot of Worf love there.
Absolutely bonkers dialogue. That's a polite way of putting it.
Blimey.
What's a skin light master?
No, don't ask. Moving on.
Did they do the J.J. Abrams one that's all lens flare?
This one made me laugh quite a lot.
Thimble. Oh dear.
Oh, goodness me.
Well, yeah. So that was what was made me laugh this week. So, right, Richard asks, will we all be issued with a supply of Romulan ale for the watch along?
I'm going to say yes.
Why not?
Romulan ale.
It's a lithium crystal.
I still dare to drink it.
Thatcher's Haze.
Courvoisier.
Why wouldn't it be? Bizarre question, Alan.
Hello. It plays every week in the background. You just haven't seen
Normally
it.
he's quite on the money there, but I don't know. I think you've missed a trick there, Alan.
Yeah, Alan, we have it every week in the background. One of us does. You just need to watch back for the previous shows. Try and find it, because like sometimes it's James's, sometimes it's mine, sometimes it's the car, but it is always on in the background. So if you watch
doing
back,
CPR on the autopilot.
yeah, you'll find it. Right, Dina.
Face.
Yes, Alan. I suggest you watch back through the previous shows. You will find Aeroplane playing for at least the last 4 or 5 weeks. So.
Gosh, have we? Do we know how many we've done of these now? We must be sort of 120-ish.
Oh, more. Yeah.
We've done 2 years worth, plus a few specials, plus some watch-alongs.
And by the way, dear viewer, if you are watching and you're enjoying the show, please give us a thumbs up and a heart emoji and hit the share button and all that jazz. It really does help us with our figures. Or give us money. Yeah.
Yeah.
What do we spend the money on?
Probably the nail.
I'd love a cravat. And a pair of pajamas, please.
And I'd like some Hunter
Airwolf
wellies.
pajamas.
Yes, Airwolf pajamas, please.
And some Hunter wellies, please.
Ooh.
Well,
So, I mean, in all seriousness, I would like to talk about the fact that RikerCon 3 is looking bereft of anywhere to have a convention next year. So if you are watching and you have an entertainment hall that you would like us to host a convention in, please do get in touch with the show. It's been highly profitable for everywhere else that we've held it, so they've made a lot of money from us. I think mainly it was due to the amount that I drank, but other people propped it up too.
So, I mean, there's no reason why what RikerCon 3 couldn't just be a very big social in the Weatherspoons opposite and just stay at a hotel. I mean,
That's true. I mean, the biggest problem with the Riker convention is that it's at Ramsgate, which is at the bottom of the country, and I think a lot of people would like to come but would prefer it to be a little bit more central. Obviously, I wouldn't, because
Not in the north, obviously.
no, not north of the M25. No,
I mean, the middle of the country, my friend.
No, not north of the M25. It's very uncivilized.
Behave
Let's
yourself.
keep it,
Not north of Hampstead.
yeah, let's keep it respectable.
I live literally in the middle of the country.
You live north of the M25, don't you?
Exhibit A. This is the United Kingdom for our international
Yeah.
viewers. This is the greatest country in the world.
Zoom in a bit. That's the sea.
Yeah. So
Right.
here's
Look
the
how much
country.
closer to Scotland you are, though.
Ignore the closeness to Scotland. So this is the country. It stretches from this point here to this point here, or down here. And I am exactly here in the middle. It is exactly central for
Can I
everybody.
just point out that you're almost an entire half of the country north of the M25?
Can I just point out you're an entire half of the country from my house?
I mean, it's absolute. I mean,
You can huff all you want. You know I'm right.
Look what Vicky has said, Dan.
I don't care what Vicky has said. What does she know?
apparently, if you drink enough Tizer,
She would
they
know,
let
she's a
you in.
nurse.
Look, see, we are close here to the cities of Leeds, Sheffield, Liverpool.
There's a toll road on the M21, and they breathalyze you. And if you're not 90% tenants or Tizer, you can't come in.
I'm going somewhere up there. I'm going to Coventry tomorrow.
Well, that's down here, James.
It's down there somewhere, yeah.
It's here. It's south of Birmingham.
Still going to take me 4 hours to drive there, though.
Yeah, about right. Let's see, Coventry. Actually, no, Coventry's around here.
I've
Well,
got two
either way,
foreigners in the car with me. It's going to be great fun.
Well, we're seriously considering getting somewhere that's a little bit easier for people to get to. on the outskirts of London, possibly somewhere around there. So if
That's
you're
why we've
interested in
chosen
coming to
it.
WriterCon, you've got some suggestions for next year, then we've got a year to organise, so please do message the show or whack it in the comments and we'll take it on board. Because it was terribly good fun. I really enjoyed. I've enjoyed both of them, but I particularly enjoyed last year's RikerCon because we got to have a trial and sing karaoke.
Can we go to Belfast?
And there was a kebab train, which was horrific.
Can we have RikerCon in Belfast? I found
No.
That involves a sea journey.
I don't like Ireland, sorry.
But look, I found this building. It looked like it could hold a RikerCon. And the Irish aren't using it.
I have been to Ireland. I just don't want to go back.
I've been to Ireland once, and I do have the passport.
Well, you're Irish, so.
Yeah. Oh, did I tell you, Richard, there is a bar that has expressed an interest in hosting RikerCon 3?
Is there? What bar would that be? Does it have a salad bar?
The best salad bar in the city.
But there's no salad bar. Move it, move it, move it.
Now that is actually false. Ireland
that's not true.
Ireland
Not true,
has an advertisement because we know the gentleman that helped organise it, and his name is James Dillon, and he's lovely.
Hey?
Not James.
What?
Not James. Liam Dillon. He's lovely too.
When did I organise a convention in Ireland? Isn't that the one that Frakes actually turned up to?
Yes, it is. Yeah.
Yeah. Liam Dillon organised the Star Trek event moons ago in Ireland.
Friend of the show, Liam Dillon.
Yes, very good. The font of all things with Star Trek uniform, but very good model maker.
We try and get him on the show every week, but instead we're stuck with James Dillon.
Sorry.
Damn you, Dylan. Yes.
Well, yeah, sorry, they do.
Well, I think that's more or less all the Star Trek talked about.
Was there any other news? I can't remember.
It's 49 days to Christmas.
Has everyone done their Christmas shopping?
No, but I have decorated 4 shops for Christmas this week.
Well, I think
It's November, Dan.
It's November, but I think possibly upcoming feature on the show, I think, should be Trek gifts.
Oh.
Yeah. James, have you got something that you could possibly show us that might make a good gift for someone at Christmas?
I'll tell you what.
James, what are you trying to? No, James, what are you trying to sell at the moment?
How about this? Oh, yes, I entirely forgot. How about
Here we go.
these special edition Riker's Beard Isolinear chips?
Ooh, look at them.
Ooh.
If you can't think what to get your wife, these would make her happy. Look at that.
Yeah, your wife, she'd be delighted to get. Oh, look at the special edition one with a bit cut out the corner. Yes, these will be available soon.
In time for Christmas?
Definitely in time for Christmas.
Marvellous. That's what we wanted to hear.
They're £50 for one,
No, they're not.
or £25 for two.
No, they're not. They're really priced.
Price them at some point.
There'll be a budget, a price to suit every budget for Christmas.
Mm.
I think some of them may even come with a pre-drilled hole so you can hang it from your Christmas tree.
Well, if you want me to drill a hole, I'll do that. That's not a problem. The Riker's Beard Christmas decoration.
Yes. Right. So we are also going to, when it loads up, it's loading up in the background. Unfortunately, it's decided.
Dan, please tell us why your trip to Ireland wasn't fun.
I have no idea what you're on about. I work with children. I really do just work with children.
How would you decorate a Trekkie Christmas tree? I don't know. With lots of blinky lights.
Voyager was turned into an ornament once, wasn't it? By Q.
Yeah, by Q's son,
Yeah.
yes.
Oh, what a pest.
Well, when it eventually loads up, it might be fun because Christmas, like we say, is 50 days away, and we know we've got viewers around the world. And it might be a fun feature to get all of our viewers, if they're so inclined, to send us a Christmas card, and we'll put the Christmas cards up when we get sent them. So what I'll do is
that's a good idea. Or even scan them or do virtual ones, whatever.
Just virtually. There's no need. Wouldn't rely on the Royal Mail. They won't deliver anything.
Oh, I'm going to put the postal address on the screen now, and if you are inclined to send us a Christmas card or some sort of thing you'd like us to display, we will do. So let's put James's work off it.
In the meantime, why don't you play the Challenge Annika music again?
How about this?
I prefer the Challenge Annika music. I really like the Challenge Annika music.
Have you got it yet?
Is what, sorry?
Have you got it yet?
It's coming up now. I'm just busy making it.
It's crying out for Challenge Annika.
Okay, so let's press it as this. Let's do it as that. Let's do it as that. Right, James, could you read out the address, please, in your best reading out Blue Peter style?
Yeah.
Send your cards to...
The postal address is Let's Talk Trek, 58 Range Court, Macclesfield, Cheshire, United Kingdom, SK10 2RR. That's Let's Talk Trek, 58 Range Court, Macclesfield, Cheshire, the middle of the United Kingdom, SK10 2RR.
Wow.
Answers on a postcard, please.
So send in your Christmas cards, your postcards if you're abroad, your drawings, and if you're a company, send in promotional items, and we will review them for you. This is the postal address, and it will get straight to us. So, see if in case anyone else is jotting it down.
If you haven't yet jotted it down, don't forget you can replay this episode at your leisure.
And press pause. If you were to press pause at this point, we'd all be pulling this face. Well, there we go.
Well, look at that. We've used our whole hour up talking nonsense.
Oh.
No, we didn't. We talked about Trek. That's what we do here.
Right, boys and girls, that's it for this week. Thank you very much for watching. Big shout out to our non-sponsors of the show, Aloe Gin.
Oh, yes. Anno Gin.
Aloe Gin. Thatcher's Hay. The Jack Daniels Brewing Distillery. If you guys want to send us anything, the address was just on the screen.
And the Zucker brothers.
Yes. And Alan Window, we thoroughly encourage you to go back through the last 4 weeks of Let's Talk Trek and get back to us as to where Aeroplane is playing at each one, because we have hidden it and you've only spotted it once, which is a bad do. So you need to go back through the last 4 weeks and figure out where we hid it the last 3 weeks.
Yes.
Right, that's it for this week. See you later.
Look after yourselves and each other.
And on.